Hello, and welcome back to the Primacy Podcast. I'm so grateful that you take the time to listen to these podcasts, to watch these podcasts, whatever it is, whatever means you absorb it in. I'm so grateful that you do so. I'm also grateful when you download the podcast, when you give us a rating. I'm grateful when you tell others about what it is that we're doing here and the information that you're gaining. And hopefully the information that you're gaining, you do the last thing, the thing that I'm most grateful with, which is that you actually share the information with others that you know will find value in what it is that you've found value in. So I'm grateful when all of those things happen. If you would, again, if you love what we're sharing with you, if you love what you hear here, subscribe so that you don't ever miss it, and please share it with others so that they can find out that information as well. Today, we're going to talk about social experience. Social experience is probably the area that has had the greatest transition in the last decade or so, that of any of the experience elements, and especially where it comes to communicating or communication within the experience area that we have. And we've actually created a whole new type of experience in social media that didn't even exist before. A platform that never even was there is now very, very present in our society and has been responsible for bringing about things that typically wouldn't have happened without that type of medium. So we're going to talk about the social experience that we have. Now, I'm going to break this into a couple of different areas. We have what I call the internal social experience, and we have the external social experience. The internal social experience would be those people with whom we have a personal relationship. And the external would be where we're relating kind of a one-to-many message, much like this right here is a one-to-many message. I don't have necessarily a personal relationship with you, but I have a relationship in that I'm relating things to you, and if you share back with me, then we're beginning that process. But I really don't know you. Does that make sense? On the internal side, I have a personal relationship with those people, though it's different than those in my personal group. It's those different than in my professional group. It's a relationship that we have that is socially related. So it might be from church, it might be from a community group, it might be from a particular area in which we're involved. Like I coached my children's teams when they were growing up. I helped coach my grandson's team recently. That's all social interaction. That's all part of the social part of who I am. And those would be my internal social experiences. The external social experiences would be those like on Facebook, Instagram, and all of those types of communication that we might have, whatever venue those happen to be for you. And then we have ways in which to communicate. We have verbal ways in which to communicate. We have nonverbal ways like written forms. We have digital forms, and we have non-digital forms, and those really are it. So we've got digital and non-digital forms of communication, and within digital there might be a variety of things like you would text, or this like a video or an audio message. We might have a post. We might have a chat. There are a variety of digital means in which we communicate. Email. So those things happen and happen regularly and and each of those provide an experience for us, an experience to us. We also have non-digital ways of communicating, which would be like me actually having a conversation face-to-face with somebody else. Or me in a coaching situation where I have a group of people that I'm working with and I'm sharing with them and they're sharing back with me intermittently, but not conversationally. Those are all forms of experiences. I'm having an experience in that way. They're having an experience in that way. Right now, I'm having an experience while I'm creating this for you, and you're having an experience as you watch this or as you listen to this. So we have experiences socially in a variety of ways. How do we think about those? What do we do with those? How do we value those? Do we value our internal experiences greater than our external experiences? Do we value and put more time into our external than we do in our internal? These are all great questions. As we explore the social experience part of life, those are the types of questions that we're going to look at, all right, what does this social area mean for me? What does this social area do for me? How much time do I devote to this social area of my life? How do I prioritize the social area of my life? Where really does it matter to me? These are all important questions that I think as we begin to answer, then we can enrich our own personal experiences and provide fantastic experiences for others. I don't want to provide an experience for you that is anything less than extraordinary. I want you to have an exceptional experience every time I engage with you, even though we're not having an internal experience. This is an external experience, but I want it to be fantastic for you. I also want us to be able to very much remember that there is a significant difference between an internal and an external experience. Doesn't have to do necessarily with value. I have learned fantastic things. I have had wonderful and deep emotional experiences because of an external experience. That's not a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful opportunity. And you can too. And hopefully over time, we'll create a relationship where you'll come to trust and know that I have your best interest in mind. I really want the very best for you. And that as we go through this teaching process, even though it's a social interaction, I'm still doing my very best to give you my very best so that you can have a great experience with me, so that you can have a better experience with others and provide great experiences to other people. I want you truly, that's what this podcast is all about, to have and to create exceptional experiences. If we bring about that end, no matter how we bring about that end, then everyone benefits. It's a win-win. Thank you so much for being with me on this podcast. I do appreciate it. Our next podcast will focus on the professional experiences that we have and what to do with those. As you know, all of these are interrelated. The private, the personal, the social, the professional, they all mesh together to create one wonderful experience that we call life. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you on the next Primacy Podcast.